Hey, welcome to You Might Have Missed It. I'm Adam.
I'm Nathan.
And we're finally free. We're free of E3. We're free of the Steam Summer Sale. I don't know what to do with my newfound gaming news freedom, at least for like this week.
WoW patch.
WoW patch. That's right. There goes all my time.
Yep.
Well, thanks for listening. I have some WoW to play, so we'll catch you next week. You can always connect with us. No, I'm kidding.
Yeah.
I already did that today.
Yeah, we did that.
Yeah, it's already been done.
Only one character, though.
Only one. I did.
Well, you did.
I did two.
You did. Yeah, I only did one.
Cool.
Anyway, moving along.
Anyway, speaking of the Steam Summer Sale.
Steam Sale!
As we said, it's over. And last week we had talked a little bit about E3. A little bit. A tiny, tiny bit. But we didn't really get a chance to talk about the Steam Summer Sale that was going on at the same time. And so this week I wanted to talk a little bit about kind of what we got out of the Steam Summer Sale. And I'm sorry to say that my list of things that I got is actually really short. In part because I was so consumed with like following E3 that I didn't really have time to follow the Steam Summer Sale. So I would get like random hints from people like, oh, this is on sale now. You should go check this out. And it's on something like, I do E3 stuff. I gotta look at E3 stuff.
Yeah.
So the two games that I didn't end up picking up, I picked them up because they were incredibly cheap. Which is a weird thing to say.
Little 99-cent games?
Little 99-cent games. Actually, I think two of them. The first one is a game that I'm going to talk about a little bit later and kind of give you my experience and let you know if it's any good, which is One Way Heroics, kind of a roguelike, turn-based RPG. And then the second one that I bought was, what is this game called? Cook, Serve, Delicious.
Oh, yeah. I got that one, too.
Yeah, which is... I bought this game and played it for a few minutes, and I actually got like a little bit of, like it was stressful to play.
I know.
Like super stressful.
You actually get like, oh fuck.
Well, what it reminded me of was, and this is the weirdest, like not the weirdest thing to remind me of because it's exactly what the game is simulating. But I worked as a, fry cook at a university for a little while.
Oh, did you?
And,
that's right.
So we were manning the counter and cooking. And it was all of the things that you kind of start out with, which is burgers and fries and stuff like that. And you're taking all of these orders and putting stuff down and timing it and, you know, trying to keep up with all of the orders from these people, especially during like a rush hour. And so I found myself having like flashbacks to this as I was playing this game. And I'm like, oh God, I can't do this anymore. I have to stop now. I'm just getting awesome. Like, I'm not getting paid for this and I feel like I need to. But I can see it being a really fun game, especially if you play it with somebody else. I think would be a really good way to do it. And, I watched a streamer play it with a friend of theirs and it was actually a really good system, which is one person would call out the orders and the other person was on the keyboard, like hitting the buttons to fill the orders out.
Okay.
And it was really funny, but it was also like, wow, that's actually a really good way to play. Cause that was the hardest thing for me, was keeping track of like what orders are going and then, what needs to go on there. So I'm reading through them and having to glance and for some reason, because of the, just the way it was presented, there's this disconnect in my brain where I would have trouble remembering what I read and what I'd clicked on.
Oh shit.
And I don't know why that was happening because that doesn't happen in other games for me. And it could just be that it was like
it was
PTSD.
That stress.
Yeah.
It was the stress, yeah.
Getting too much to me. But anyway, those were the games that I picked up. So my two summer sale games. Nice. How about you, Nate? How many did you pick up?
That's not fair.
I'm not asking like an exact number. I am going to guess the answer is somewhere in 14, the region of
14,
a
15.
buttload. I was correct.
A what?
A buttload.
A buttload.
And 14 is exactly a buttload.
Maybe 15.
That is the unit of measurement. It's actually,
buttload.
it's an imperial measure.
Okay.
Like a foot or an inch. A buttload is
It's like 15.
14 by the king's reckoning.
Yeah, I got a few. No, like, and most of these I haven't actually had time to play yet, just because, one of them got.
I would hope so.
Well, no, yeah, exactly. But, one of them actually took up a majority of my time that I didn't think about it, but I'll talk about that one later, and that was the City Skyline. Ended up taking a large portion of my time. I got Chroma Squad, which that also took up the chunk of time that City Skyline didn't. And well, we all know our opinion. I will say I share your opinion on Chroma Squad. That game is awesome.
It's really good. And if you want to get the full review, just go back a couple episodes where we talked about it.
Yeah, that game is awesome.
Mm-hmm.
I also bought Cook Serve Delicious, as we said. Evo Land, which I'm intrigued to play. I'm kind of on the fence about it. It's kind of a progression. It's basically an RPG that progresses through the different ones. You know, it goes through like turn-based, like Secret of Mana type, to adventure game style gameplay. It basically just goes through the history of RPG gameplay kind of thing.
Yeah, I actually picked that game up like a year ago, and I still haven't sat down and played through it. So
yeah,
I'll be interested to hear what you have to say about that, because I think it looks like your bag, definitely.
Yeah, it's definitely the kind of thing that I'd just jump into. I also picked up Melody's Escape, which is a rhythm game, and we all know how I feel about like Beat Hazard and games like that, so that's why I picked that up.
You hate them. You're completely against.
Hatred, absolute hatred for any game involving my own music that I can sit there rocking out to and inspire gameplay through that music. Yeah, no, hatred, pure hatred.
Which is why you spend so much time on them. Exactly. It's a know your enemy sort of thing.
Right. Picked up Turbo Dismount just because I like to break stuff.
Okay.
Yeah. It's really fun.
I don't know what it is, but for some reason, like, before you describe it, I'm going to describe what I think it is.
Okay.
What I think it is a gymnastics game where you are like jumping off of various things and trying to stick the landing, but very quickly.
Not even close.
Dang it.
No, it's basically, it's a, it's a ragdoll physics game, where you basically put your ragdoll on a vehicle of some type and throw them down a track, intending to do the most possible damage to both the vehicle and the ragdoll.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So it's kind of a test dummies type game.
Pretty much, yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Except that you're not really testing, like, I mean, I guess you're technically testing safety.
Well, yeah, I mean, and it's safety of things like what happens if you go through, like, if you go across this bridge and land in this traffic, you know, what will happen then?
Only
Bad
good
things.
things, I imagine.
Only
good things.
Very bad things, actually.
Oh.
Yeah. I also got Viscera Cleanup Detail.
Oh, wait, so I'm sorry. Actually, I misspoke because I did get 3 games during the summer sale.
Did you get Viscera Cleanup Detail?
You got me Viscera didn't
That's
Cleanup
right,
Detail.
I did. I was hoping you'd come play 2-player with me because I know that single player, it sucks so
We're going to have to set that up. We're going to have to sit down and play through that, I think.
Yeah. Look for that on an upcoming stream. But yeah. But single player, that game blows. It is just as tedious and lame as you think it is. The utter hatred that I have for that game right now knows no bounds.
I've seen it played, and I think you have to go in with a certain mindset.
Yeah.
And you have to understand exactly what the game is before you go in, or else you are going to be very disappointed by what you get.
I was hoping for at least like some witty commentary or something, like, God, this job sucks, or something like that. Even that, just the guy randomly saying, God, fuck this shit. That would have been awesome, but none of that.
No, that witty commentary was going on the entire time in your head.
Yeah, no.
You just didn't recognize it.
There you go. No, I was actually verbally saying, fuck this shit. Oh my God.
There you go.
I can't believe it. Yeah.
No, I think it's about the company you keep in the game. For sure.
Yeah, it really is. I really think, because it's just like, I mean, I will say that, like we did Broforce 2-player.
Mm-hmm.
That was awesome. That game though is great as a single player game too, but as a 2-player and you can get up to 4, I can see that being like just one of the most awesome games to play.
Yeah, no, this one you have to go in probably in the same way that you kind of have to go into, I'm trying to think of like a really boring thing you do that can be really fun. But I think you just have to go in knowing that it's a joke and just screw around the whole time.
Yeah. Whereas I was actually trying to be serious and cleaning shit up. And
yeah, no. My thinking is you play with the physics.
That's probably my problem. My problem is I was actually trying to be the Viscera Cleanup Detail as opposed to the I'm going to throw this head around.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Well, the fact that you're cleaning, like, I don't know. I think it's an incredibly funny premise.
It is.
And I actually like that it's the premise presented without commentary.
Okay.
Is what I kind of like about it. But I have a really dry sense of humor. So, I mean, I also have like a very slapstick, but to me it's the best way I can describe it is like it's very British.
It's all for the commentary that you're providing it.
Exactly. Okay. Exactly.
I see. Mm-hmm. So they give you the shitty game, you provide the commentary.
Exactly.
Got it.
So we'll provide the commentary.
We'll provide the when we do the stream, it'll be fucking hilarious.
Yeah. Anyway.
Okay. Anyway, moving along. Rock of Ages. I've just heard this game is really good. I have no idea what the fuck it's about.
Okay.
All the different screenshots and everything I've seen lead me everywhere from skee ball to Katamari. So no clue. Yeah. Most of the, believe it or not, the Steam sale, I did go into the Steam sale with one thought on my head is what would be good to stream.
There we go.
And yeah, that's what most of these are, which most of these, are would be games that I'll stream.
Yeah, I went into
probably will in the future.
The Steam sale with the thought, what are the cheapest games available right now?
Yeah. Hey, look, Viscera Cleanup Detail because free.
Yeah, exactly. I paid 99 cents, and nothing for the 3 games.
Good Steam sale.
Yeah.
I also picked up Lego The Hobbit. No intention of streaming that.
It's,
but I do intend on playing it because Lego. I love Lego. Octodad.
That's an interesting game. I've played a little bit of it.
Yeah. I can't wait to try it just to see how much I can fuck with his arms and legs and miscellaneous appendages.
It's a hard game to play.
Oh, yeah.
I think you'll have more success than I did with it.
Just watching me play I Am Bread?
Yeah. I think you'll have slightly...
Or Surgeon Simulator. Actually,
Simulator.
It falls along those games with whack-ass controls.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah, and I do play those. Also got Metal Slug 3 because Metal Slug. And if you guys don't remember playing Metal Slug in the middle of Little Caesars when you were 12 or 8, fuck you guys.
Then there's 2 reasons for that. One, you are not us. Or 2,
you weren't born in the 90s.
You weren't born then.
Yeah, you weren't born like before the 90s.
Yeah.
So. Yeah.
You weren't born in the 80s and grew up in the 90s.
I enjoyed Metal Slug, so I'm going to play it.
There you go. You bought that one because you're old.
No, actually, I didn't buy that one. That one was given to me.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so
it was given to you.
It was given to me, but I was very excited when it was. Okay. But yeah, it was given to me off of my wish list.
Okay.
Yeah. Along with Castle Crashers, which... I'm not much for Castle Defense, so I don't know how much I'll actually play it.
I'm not sure what that game is. Like I've seen...
I don't know if it's Castle Defense, but it seemed like it.
Yeah, we'll find out.
Yeah, and so those are actually the games that I got for the Steam sale. Very excited. Oh, and I got Homebrew. I totally forgot about Homebrew. The vehicle sandbox where you create vehicles. I can't wait to play that. It's kind of like Besieged, only it does not feature little guys that you can kill.
So I'm already out then.
Oh, okay. So no killing guys, not gonna play that game.
Yeah, not interested in building things that are not death machines.
Oh no, I didn't say you couldn't build a death machine. I just said there weren't people there that you could kill with your death machine.
Right, well, what's the use of building a death machine if you can't then use it for its intended purpose?
I don't know. It's still in early access, so they might eventually put in little guides that you can run over.
Perhaps.
You never know. There is possibilities here.
There is. All right. Well, we are going to take a quick break and get a word from our sponsor, and then we will be right back.
Hi there. I'm John Duscherman, lead creative marketing and cross-synergy content developer for the popular video game Destiny. We've been getting a lot of constructive feedback about recent marketing decisions we've made, along with plenty of cute nicknames from our player base, especially with our latest partnership with iconic energy drink Red Bull. We want to let you know we've been listening, and we understand your concerns. That's why I'm so excited to announce to the Destiny community and fans of the Red Bull energy drink that we've come up with a solution that's fair to both of you. Much like Destiny players must purchase specially marked cans of Red Bull to enjoy a new questline we'll be releasing, Red Bull drinkers will now be required to play through a Destiny questline in order to purchase more Red Bull. In order to buy any of the delicious, some would say life-giving and addictive energy drink, fans of Red Bull will have to purchase an entire console they may or may not actually want, play and level up a character in our game, and then actively play through a series of quests before they can quench their thirst. We think that this is a fair compromise for fans of both products. See you in the game, or else.
And we're back. So this week I have been playing, obviously, a little bit of WoW earlier. But earlier this week I started playing One Way Heroics. And I am not normally a fan of roguelikes. I've played like Risk of Rain. I remember playing the like Rogue Legacy and stuff like that. And I didn't really like them. Like, I don't like that level of challenge. It's not usually for me. It's something where I'm like, I would much rather spend time with a game and kind of get to know the story and that sort of thing. And for the most part, these ones always just kind of felt like, oh, here we go. Let's just try and be as challenging as possible within the frameworks of a game that you might otherwise recognize.
Right. Like,
in some way.
Yeah, like throw you into like a heavily challenging platformer style kind of thing. Exactly.
And that's just not usually my bag. However, in this case, and maybe it's the fact that it's kind of a turn-based, action-y type RPG, I actually found myself really enjoying One Way Heroics, precisely because it was a roguelike in a setting that you don't expect a roguelike to exist. So the kind of the, if you haven't guessed already, One Way Heroics is kind of an RPG Maker-esque RPG game where you are trying to defeat a demon lord who is creating an encroaching darkness. And kind of the way the gameplay works is that it's turn-based. So every time you move, the world moves and monsters get a chance to move. So you're constantly trying to essentially escape the edge of the screen. And your eventual goal is to reach the demon lord and defeat them before you either die to monsters, die to the demon lord, get caught by the edge of the screen, or run out of energy or stamina, because you have a constantly ticking down energy meter that you can only refill either through like periodic NPCs that you'll meet, like chefs and stuff like that, or through like little food items. So you're just constantly moving through this world, trying to do that, trying to survive, and it is not fair by any stretch of the imagination. Which makes it actually really fun, because it's not fair in a way that you can really easily recognize. and then really easily kind of alleviate. And actually, as you go through, you start to learn tactics for surviving longer. And you start to learn, ways like how monsters behave. And at the beginning, like for me at least, at the beginning, my biggest opponent was actually the controls, was trying to figure out like all of this stuff. And they explain it as you go through. But they don't do a really great job of explaining it the first time through. So the first time I was like, wait, can I go back? Can I go back to this area? And I kind of went back a little bit and realized like, no, wait, the screen's still moving. The screen's still moving. Okay. That's probably bad. I probably should not get caught by the edge of the screen. And, so I kept moving forward. And then I couldn't figure out like how the combat system worked because I kept expecting it to be more of a traditional like turn-based RPG, but it plays more similarly to an action RPG, which is the direction you're facing is the way that you will attack when you press the attack button. So my first game through ended very abruptly because I couldn't figure out how to attack a monster.
Oh shit.
So I'm just like attacking the air and then I face the wrong way and attack the air and then try and move and the monster hits me because I don't move far enough and all of this other stuff. And then I die and I'm like, okay, well that sucked. But I'm like, okay, I need to give this game a better shake then. So I go back in and I figure out, oh, okay, so I can do this and this. And then I make it a little bit further that time. And that's when I started to realize like, oh, my energy is going down and, I need to pick stuff up. And so by the time I figured that out, I died again, this time because I went and accidentally faced too many monsters all at once and just got completely slaughtered. By about 5 monsters who just kind of surrounded me and, beat me, curb stomped me essentially. So then I started again and started working my way through. And this time did not get cornered by monsters like I had before. And then started to figure out like, oh, I can only carry so much stuff. There's weight limits and everything that you carry has weight, your weapons, your armor, just, random individual pieces of food and stuff like that. All of this stuff has weight. So you kind of have to like manage between like, heavy armor, big weapons, lots of damage, or do I need more supplies to get the end? And this time I made it a lot further, but then got trapped by the edge of the screen.
Oh, damn.
Because I accidentally like shoved myself into a corner and was like, oh, I have plenty of time to get out of this. I did not have plenty of time to get out of it. So I ended up getting swallowed by the edge of the screen. And so then I went again.
Okay.
And I probably ended up playing like on my first run through about 3 hours. And keep in mind, this is the easiest difficulty, which means that you get extra weight limits. Better items. It's just easier. And there's a specific point where the game ends, where you meet the end boss, the Demon Lord. And, probably after about 15 or 16 tries, I got to the end and beat the Demon Lord. Finally.
Okay.
I was like, yes, I did it. I was super accomplished. And then a new difficulty unlocked. And this difficulty added a whole new set of challenges to it, which is one, it got rid of your extra weight limit, which when you're used to that and suddenly it's gone, you're just kind of left like, crap. How nope, can't carry that. I'm out of energy. So I basically died to having no energy at one point.
Oh, jeez.
And then the other thing the difficulty adds is instead of the Demon Lord just appearing at essentially the end, it appears periodically throughout the rest of the game. And it appears periodically at points where you are in no way ready to fight it. So the second playthrough, I managed to reach one of those points and was immediately killed by the Demon Lord. Because it appeared and I didn't know how to react to it. Because the only other time I'd faced it was, had to deal with it was when I was ready. I had, companions. I had all of the armor I needed, awesome weapons and stuff like that. So I'm like, I'm assuming I need to avoid him. However, he is really fast. Really, really fast. So I ended up like getting caught by him and then one-shotted.
Oh,
like,
okay.
maybe this difficulty isn't for me. Maybe it's just, and I'm like, all right, let's try again. And this time I managed to get through. And finally, after about 20 tries on that difficulty,
Christ,
I finally managed to beat the last guy. And then a new difficulty unlocked.
Wow.
So that's kind of where I am with this game, which is I am really surprised by how much I enjoy the roguelike aspect of it. And I think the only reason that I can really enjoy it is because it's in a really familiar wrapper for me. So I'd have to say that if you enjoy RPGs, this is a lot of fun because you get to unlock new classes, which kind of in turn unlocks new different play styles and stuff like that. Mm-hmm. And some of the classes are more intuitive than others. Like obviously a swordsman, you kind of know what you're going to be doing in that class, which is hitting crap with a sword. That's really the be all and end all of the class. But then you're suddenly playing like a bard and you have to wonder wait, what do I do? I play my instrument? Nope, now I'm dead. All right. Interesting. This is going to be a challenge. And for the record, I did beat the game on a bard. On the second hardest difficulty, not the latest one that I've unlocked. And apparently there's one after the one that I'm currently trying to get my way through.
So getting through the different difficulties is pretty intense. You end up with,
unlike say Risk of Rain, which I always felt like I was kind of on the back foot with. Mm-hmm. I never really got comfortable with that game and never got to a point where I felt like I was really learning anything about it. I just always kind of felt like I didn't know why I died at that point. Or if I did know why I died, it was because I spent too long, preparing or doing this or that sort of thing. Whereas this one, because you have a very clear goal that you're working towards, you can really pretty easily measure your progress as you go through. And as you go through, you can always kind of feel like you're doing better, or you figure out, why you didn't do as well that time. And you can make that adjustment and redo it the next time. You're always starting off from scratch, although the game does have some systems where you can carry stuff over from one playthrough to the next. But only certain things. Levels are not one of them. So you're always kind of starting off fresh. And even sometimes when you have the stuff that you carry through, you don't necessarily want to, because it isn't always an advantage to do that. It's a good game. It's a good challenge, I think, overall. And it's an interesting way to kind of, I think, learn a game and how you approach a game. You're going to be constantly improving, and the next time you run through, you're going to do better, and you're going to do better. And there's always this, end goal in mind. You know where you're going, and you know what needs to be done. Whereas I think with other roguelikes, it's really indefinite. So having that goal, having that kind of even light storyline running through, really helps make this game a lot more accessible.
Okay, even just having a definite, regardless of the multiple difficulty levels, you still have a beginning, middle, and end to the game, and that kind of sets it apart from games like Rogue Legacy and that sort of thing, where it's basically an infinitely playable game and you never really get to an end point.
That's a good way of looking at it.
So that's really interesting, especially for the roguelike genre, because that's one of the staples of a roguelike is, it never freaking ends. But yeah, it has an end to this point, and you just move on to the higher difficulty level. Mm-hmm. Now are the levels procedurally generated, or are they static? Okay, so it's procedurally generated.
It's you start with a seed for a world.
Okay.
And then all of those worlds are different. So the first one I started in was actually a little bit harder than, as I got through later, I figured out that the first one I started in was actually kind of a hard world to start in because each of the individual tile sets have different effects on your character.
Really?
And, grassland is easy to travel through. You don't, there's no negative side effects to traveling through grassland or something like that. Whereas my original game started in the middle of the desert. And in the desert, you lose energy a lot more quickly. Same thing with snowy tile sets. It actually drains your energy actively. Really? So when you start in these areas and you have no idea, you're oh man, so this is the rate that it goes down. That's really fast. That's really bad. And it's not until later that I realized, like, oh, I was actually starting with a handicap in this, and I had no idea. But it's not so bad that, like I said, it wasn't so bad that I noticed that there was something wrong with, like, the way I was starting.
Okay, I see.
Mm-hmm.
That's cool.
Yeah, it's definitely pretty good. So then the other part of the game is that there's the single player part, which is what I was doing. There's not really, as far as I can tell, a true multiplayer version of the game. I could be wrong about this, but there is online play. And what's kind of interesting is that they present various challenges through the online play, which is they create these specific worlds that are then shared across, in this case, I think, like, all Steam users. And they present very specific types of play. So as an example, one of the worlds is a hard world, which is to say, like, the enemies are pretty tough and then you don't level up. So everything you do has to be equipment based as you go through it.
Shit.
Another one was you start off with a specific companion and have to go through the game with them. And then at the end, there's a little twist with that particular companion. I'm not going to give it away because I'm not sure if it happens in other games. But the other cool thing is that you're constantly seeing how other people are doing within the game. There's this little sidebar kind of showing you how, like, status updates from pretty much everyone else who's playing in that particular world that you're in. So you can see when somebody dies and what killed them. You can, see when somebody's reached, like, an area, see when somebody's won, see all of this stuff as it kind of scrolls down through. And then occasionally you'll actually meet their ghosts and they will drop an item from you. So if they, like, die in a specific area, their ghost will inhabit that area around where they died. And if you meet them, they will give you an item from their playthrough.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, and it was kind of weird because I'm like, the first time I saw it, I'm like, why is there, I've never seen this before. What is this ghost thing? And I'm like, kind of going up to it. I'm getting ready, like, for a fight of some sort. And I talk to it and it's like, oh, I died. Take this so that you can do better than I. And then it dropped, like, a weapon. And, another one dropped a healing item for me or something like that. So it's just kind of an interesting way to bring on these little bits of multiplayer. So you feel like, oh, I'm not the only one struggling through this. And it's an interesting way to do multiplayer in a game like this. And I really, really enjoyed it for that reason. And I'm comforted by the idea that if I die on one of these dimensions, there's some other hero who meets my ghost and gets some
item. Cool stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Get something nifty.
Yeah.
That's actually a pretty cool little twist.
I would highly recommend picking this game up. Obviously, summer sale's over, so you're not going to find it for 99 cents right now. But you can get it for $3.49. And quite honestly, I think it's worth the $3.49.
I looked, I already own it.
There you go.
Yeah. So apparently I thought it was worth $3.49. There you go.
Exactly. So, yeah, I definitely recommend picking this up. It's a lot of fun. And you will probably get a little bit frustrated with it. But stick with it because it's really just this weird, unique sort of fun. I will say there is one complaint for it though, which is it's definitely built in RPG Maker or some sort of program very similar to that. Because I've played through RPG Maker games in the past that other people have built. And my biggest complaint about it is the window size is really small.
Oh, is it?
Yeah, it's super, super small. So the first time that I was playing through it, I was like squinting to read text and, trying to get through that. And finally my solution was to move it to my second monitor, which is slightly smaller than my main monitor. And obviously that doesn't actually like change the size of it, but it does change the relative pixel density and makes it appear larger on the other screen. So I was able to read it far more easily and go through it far more easily with that. It's actually kind of easy on that small screen to lose track of your character sprite. It's weird. It was a weird situation where I'm like, wait, where am I? Oh, there I am. Okay. And it's a good thing it was turn-based, because probably while I was squinting and searching, I would have been eaten by the edge of the world.
Right.
Anyway, so that's One Way Heroics. Pick it up if you get a chance. And we will be right back after this word from our sponsors.
Hi there. Lead creative marketing and cross-synergy content developer for Destiny, John Dusherman, here again. We understand that some players have been upset by the way we've been rolling out new content, especially with our latest expansion. But we understand that we just haven't given you enough reasons to throw more money at your screen yet. So, with our latest update, we want to offer you more with either your Collector's Edition or your expansion upgrade. In addition to 3 new class emotes, 3 new color schemes, and 3 exotic class items, we'll also be offering to return 3 loved ones safely to you. That's right, for only the small price of $60 or $80 with our Kidnappers Edition, your loved ones will be returned unharmed and only mildly traumatized by our team of professionals. We think you'll agree that this is far more value than you'd expect, and your money, given to us in unmarked bills in equal quantities of 5s, 10s, and 20s, is money well spent. See you in game, or else.
And we're back. So continuing on, another game that
as we do when we're back,
as we do, the show things with the show. Another game that I actually picked up on the Steam sale, I mentioned this earlier, is City Skyline.
Ooh.
And this game, the only thing I can think of to describe it is this game is everything that SimCity should have been. The SimCity that just came, the SimCity that just came out that is a total pile of shit. City Skylines is what it should have been, and it is awesome. It is amazing. It took up 8 hours of my weekend, which I only have one day off of the weekend, so it took up that day.
So what kind of makes it so much better than like the current SimCity?
Well, it goes back to like the actual like SimCity of SimCity. It does you have your the same commercial, residential, industrial. They introduce office now. There's only 2 levels of each. Of the commercial of like there's residential light and residential heavy.
Mm-hmm.
Where light, you'll have just houses, kind of like a suburb type thing.
Yeah.
And then heavy, you'll have your big high towers and whatnot.
Apartment buildings. And
exactly. The high rises and whatnot. Same with commercial. You have your little, like the low is little mom and pop shops. The high is like the big, huge, impressive places. There's only one level of industrial. It's just straight industrial. There's only one level of office. It's just office buildings.
Yeah, you really don't, like in real life, you don't really have like a light industrial.
Or a heavy industrial. Yeah, exactly. It's just
industrial tends to be industrial. You know it when you see it.
Exactly. And then, they have, the several different levels of like producing energy. You used to have to transmit energy to your places. Used to have to plumb it all. It's a lot like SimCity 2000, which was my favorite of the entire series. So, it's really good with the traffic. And actually, it's really funny because, one of my favorite parts of SimCity, other than just playing the game,
right,
it's actually got Steam Workshop.
Oh, wow.
Built in. So not only can you get, like the, different like people will put their save games on the workshop, and you can put your save games on the workshop and play other people's cities and whatnot. Haven't tried that yet. Only played my own city. But you can get different cars and stuff because the traffic simulator in it is amazing. I was actually amazed at the graphical quality and the amount of simulation there is to it that wasn't putting like nearly a damper on my processor as I thought it would be, just because of all the when you zoom in, you have individual people going to individual places. You have the fires that occur. People are doing things, driving around, going to work. Traffic is heavy. It's not just like this simulated little section of dots and the dots suddenly become heavier. It's actual like this person is stuck in traffic for this long trying to go to this place. It's pretty impressive.
So do you have actual, like, people that will follow through? Like, it's not just like, this is a business person, but like, this is a specific business person who works here and lives here.
Yes, this is so-and-so going from home to this store. This is so-and-so going from home to work, to the office, to the industrial place, to the train, to wherever. It's, yeah.
So it's actually keeping track of individual actors.
Yeah.
Wow, that's pretty impressive.
Right.
It's not just like a number. That number is made up of individuals.
Right. And it's not like this big, huge bloated thing either. Cause a lot of the like SimCity numbers and everything like that, you know, you're trying to get up to like 1 million people. Well, I can see why they scaled that down just because, you know, 1 million people would be hard to keep track of. The kind of, you know, spreadsheet you'd need for that or database that you'd need for that in order for a game to keep track of that is insane. But you get up to like 95,000, that's a lot of fucking people.
Yeah, I mean it's a mid-sized town probably.
Right. Well, that's their metropolis point.
Oh, okay.
Is 90 some odd thousand people, which, you know, I mean, it's not that many people when you think about it in the grand scheme of things.
Yeah, that's smaller than where we live.
These are exactly.
And we live in a pretty damn small town.
Yeah, so. We live in a small town in Podunk, Montana, for fuck's sake. But I mean, it is, considering that these are actual characters in the game that actually have places to go, things to do, things like that actually have opinions, and the people are actually living, dying. You have to keep track of. Believe it or not, like this has one of the more interesting dynamics that I found on this one. People actually die.
Mm-hmm.
Like the people die, and you have to do something with the dead people. No,
so you
like
have to find a place to bury them.
You actually have to, you actually have to create a graveyard. You have to come out with crematories. You have to arrange all of this. It's the first game I've found in the city simulations, and I've played quite a few of them, just trying to find the SimCity replacement because SimCity blows. And I was like, whoa, people die. But yeah, and you actually have to have, you know, because like crematories will have 5 hearses they can send out to different places, and the graveyards I think have 12 or something like that. And if you have too many people for your graveyard, or like graveyards will actually fill up. Oh damn, when that happens.
Well, then you just excavate people and burn them, right?
Yeah.
And that's how you provide energy to the city.
You empty out the grave. Well, no, it goes to the crematory, but yeah, no.
You can't link the crematorium to the energy grid.
No,
and get refunds off of it.
Sadly, I mean they do have the trash burning thing.
There you go.
Yeah, they do have that. But sadly, the
tech doesn't exist to link them.
The graveyard won't take the dead to the trash incinerator.
The graveyard is built right next to the dump where they burn the trash.
Yeah, what's up?
That's so weird. I'm not even going to think about it.
Yeah, it is, however, next to
that cannery for that delicious Soylent Green.
It's people. No, it is, however, right next to the crematory, which, when the graveyard fills up, that's where they go.
Well, what's interesting about that is that even, like I had played Banished a while back.
Yeah.
Which is kind of a frontier city simulator.
Right.
And they did deal with death in the sense that, you know, death would happen and it would happen often. It would, you know, kind of chain reaction itself.
Mm-hmm.
The thing is, you didn't have to deal with the bodies.
Right.
Like, you kind of wanted to build stuff like graveyards because it gave the people places to go mourn, and it would relieve stress and improve happiness and stuff like that. Yeah, it gave closure to the Sims for their, you know, their individual happiness levels. But it wasn't there for, you know, what you actually need crematoriums and cemeteries for, which is getting rid of bodies.
Right.
Because bodies... You know, I'm actually really surprised about this now that you mention it, that it's not in Banished.
Right. I mean, because death is a huge thing in Banished. Like, huge.
And, you know, and disease is also a huge thing. And there's kind of a link between, you know, leaving dead bodies out.
And disease.
Spreading disease, yeah.
It really is. But no, I mean, I am severely impressed with this game, and it handles water management, electrical management, garbage management, hospitals, education. Like they actually have the 3 levels of education going from elementary to high to college. And they
have like graduate school and.
Well, it doesn't have. I don't know. Maybe I haven't got to that point yet. But there's probably a mod out there. There is actually a mod for like a large high school, just like a massive one comparatively to the regular. This one's about the size of 6 squares as opposed to this one, which is, you know, about the size of a modern day monument. They're huge.
Oh, wow.
But yeah, I mean, and the people go through, you know, elementary school, high school, college, and it's funny to see where they'll end up at jobs. Because, you know, if you don't have enough office space, they have to get other jobs. And I ended up looking through, and education's a big thing for me. So education was a big thing for my city. So everybody was like going to college and shit. It's actually one of the things that you can do is free school for everybody. There's different things you can do, like high tech housing and that sort of thing, is you actually supplement high tech housing through your city. There's quite a few different things you can do for your city. You can set up districts and set up different things for them. Like this place has a smoking ban, and this place has a pet ban. In this,
like within individual parts of the city.
Exactly. It'd be like, you set up different districts, and I had, like west, east, north, downtown, blah 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 blah.
So kind of going back to the education thing really quick, you had mentioned like they have to go get other jobs. Do you have an issue where like with a highly educated populace, because we actually, not to get like super political within or, you know, or social within this, but like even within Missoula, we have a problem where because we're a university town, we don't have a lot outside of that.
Right.
You know, we have other businesses, we have stuff like that, but we have a problem where a lot of, you know, like the best educated people, you know, from the town leave for other places because there's just not jobs for them here. So is that something you have to deal with in this game? Because, you know, we've got the realism with, you know, like the dead. So I'm actually curious, like.
I don't know if I've dealt with that just because, I worked at it so hard in order to get, you know, housing for people and all this stuff. But I did notice like going through like the industrial areas and everything like that. Like you click on an industrial place, one of the industrial places, and it'll tell you how many people they have employed, how many are overeducated for that place, how many are undereducated for that place, how many are just right for that place, and how many they need of, you know, like college level, high school level, elementary level, how many people they need from each of those levels. And I found that, like, since apparently my entire population went to college, almost the entire workforce of my town was overeducated for the industry jobs. I don't know if that led to, like, mass emigration, because I was actually having, like, a huge influx of people at the time. So a lot of people were moving in, so it might have balanced out. I don't know.
Yeah, that's because if you're of an influx, it wouldn't have balanced out. You would have just been like, you would have stagnated, which is you have enough lower educated people moving in to fill in the jobs that, you know, people who were more educated within your town, you know, didn't want to fill, essentially. You know, you have lower skilled workers coming in while higher skilled workers leave.
Well, and I mean,
sort of thing going on.
It's also possible that, I mean, the higher skilled people stayed just due to the, cause that was another thing that I meant that I always kept track of, because you have a bunch of different types of parks and playgrounds and entertainment things that you can put all over the place, and this, you know, keeps your people happy. And mine was just keeping an 85% or higher happiness rating.
Okay.
So, I mean, even if they were overeducated for their employment, they were at least still happy where they were living. That's what I was going for. Yeah.
Threw some secret stuff in the water.
Exactly.
Everyone stays happy. Everyone stays where they are.
Exactly.
Okay. So it's not an exact replica.
I did actually legalize narcotics. So.
Wow.
No, that is actually a thing. You can.
No. I understand.
I was like, hey. And they put it in there as like, it's like it reduces crime because, less people getting charged for shit. That brings the crime rate down.
That's true.
Increases happiness slightly. All right. Decreases health. More hospitals.
More
Done!
hospitals. There we go.
Yeah, exactly.
Prevention
that's
is not
what
the answer, just more treatment.
Exactly.
So then that creates more jobs for high-skilled workers.
Exactly.
So there we go.
Oh, yeah. It was a balancing game with me wanting to legalize narcotics in the City Skylines.
There we go.
But
All
it
right,
worked.
so
It actually,
at least it's not another type of game where you suddenly have like rival cartels moving into your town for the lax laws, and suddenly you suddenly have a power struggle within your own town.
Surprised that didn't happen. But actually, truthfully, I'm not even going to go into that because legalized drugs.
That's a topic for another podcast.
That's a topic for, a completely
and I don't mean another one of our podcasts.
No,
I mean just like another podcast completely. Yeah.
Exactly. We're not going into that.
That's not what we cover here. Your narcotic usage or lack thereof is your own business. We're just here for the games.
Yeah. We just play the games and lots of them.
So no, it sounds like it's the type of game that if you really enjoy SimCity, and I mean really enjoy SimCity, but don't enjoy kind of the current iteration of it, it sounds like kind of the game that it was supposed to be.
It is. It really is. And the graphics in it are amazing, and and like I said, just the innuendo, the little nuances of everything, it's fun. I enjoy it. I mean, you can even set up different street levels.
Oh, wow.
For Christ's sake. Like, there was a train track that was pre-built into the map that I started. And I was like, hey, I'm going to set up train places. But then I expand. And you can expand. Like the expansion, like you start off with a square and you could actually buy the squares next to it and the squares next to that and keep on going. Do you
ever hit somebody else's town and then just absorb it?
Not yet. We'll see.
Okay.
I was expanding and I got to the point, hey, look, train tracks. I kind of want the train tracks. But there was a lot of land on the other side of the train tracks that I had bought. And I was like, I really want to use those, but I need to get a road over that. Oh, hey, if you hit page up, that raises it a level and you can go over that. Sweet.
So my question is, can you build a floating city?
Oh my God. I don't think so.
Because then I'm in. I am completely in. If I can build a floating city where I put all of the rich and then just keep all of the dregs of humanity on the ground, then I'm in, because then I can finally live in the world that I want to.
The world of BioShock Infinite?
No. The world of Chrono Trigger.
Okay. I think the floating city of happy people, lower city of dregs is actually a common future theme.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, definitely. All I know is that the Black Omen shines so beautifully in the morning. Anyway, on that
note, this is a guy who will never get over Chrono Trigger ever until
we need
it
a
gets
new
re-released.
one. That's all I can say.
No, we just need to re-release Chrono Trigger.
No, we need a new one.
Give that an update.
I don't need a re-release of Chrono Trigger. I don't need an update of Chrono Trigger. It's perfect the way it is.
I have a Final Fantasy VII update.
Do you?
Fantasy VII remake update. Yep. It has been released. They are changing the battle system. Supposedly going to be changing the battle system. Might be redoing the world, too. So the Final Fantasy VII that comes out here this winter, when they just released the HD remake, as opposed to the complete and utter, I'm remaking this video game, that might be the one that I'm going to go for, as opposed to the Final Fantasy VII, fuck me in the ass with all your modern bullshit.
Well, here's the thing. Here's the thing, and this may bring you some comfort, is that you don't have to stop playing the original.
Oh, hell no, I don't.
It's not going to affect you that much.
Oh, okay. I see what you're saying. I can still play the original.
You can appreciate it as a different game. Oh, exactly. Exactly. It does not obliterate the original Final Fantasy VII.
No, but it obliterates the chance that the original Final Fantasy VII, in the original way, will get its HD awesome graphical remake, but I'm okay with it.
My thing is that like if you do the HD graphic update and then just do the same battle system, it's kind of silly.
No, I want them forming in 2 lines and jumping forward.
All right, there we go.
Yeah, I know.
Anyway.
He's right. He's really, when it comes right down to it, he's right. You really couldn't do the Final Fantasy VII with a modern graphics engine. It would look terrible.
It would look like kind of a joke. Like it's something you would do as a joke. It's like when YouTube videos where people will do like, like, oh, we're doing the battle system now. And then it's like live action and then you've got the menu system overlaid.
Oh yeah.
An 8-bit menu system. That's what it would look like.
It would look cheesy as fuck.
Yeah, exactly.
What you were saying.
So yeah. I'm happy to hear that they're taking some risks and actually remaking it and not just, updating the graphics and re-releasing it essentially.
Yeah. The main thing I want is don't put it on rails like they did with 13. Because 13 was so fucking linear.
Well, and I don't know if they can do that necessarily because, and to be fair, it is on rails for a lot of it. For a very, very large amount of it.
No, well, I mean, even when as soon as you get the airship, you can go wherever the fuck you want.
Right, but you can't do the story in any order you want or something like that.
Right. Well, I mean, it still has a story, but that's what I'm saying is like Final Fantasy 13, it was straight up rails.
Okay.
It was straight up beginning, middle, end. You go straight through. There is no exploring outside. But then we're talking more open world, I guess. Damn it.
Not really. Anyway. This has been You Might Have Missed It. You can always catch our shows over at YMHMI.com, where I suspect you might be listening now. You can also catch us on YouTube at youtube.com/You Might Have Missed It. If you want to give us a shout out, let us know what you think of the reviews this week, how you feel about Final Fantasy VII and its implications of its remake. You can catch us over on Twitter at YMHMI or over on Facebook, facebook.com/YMHMI. So, and then we'll probably be streaming Viscera
Cleanup Detail.
Cleanup Detail, thank you. At some point in the near future. Keep an eye on our Twitter feed and keep an ear on the podcast, and we will announce probably some dates and times for that. We hope you'll join us as we pretend to be janitors and clean up space misses and perhaps play football with a head. So,
dude, I am now excited for this.
Anyway, we'll catch you later. Thanks for listening. Hi there, John, lead creative marketing and cross-synergy content developer, Doucherman, for Destiny here. We had fun today listening to YMHMI, learning about all those great games you could be playing, and even having a few laughs. That's why I'm excited to announce that starting tomorrow, you won't have to worry about missing any games. That's because the hit console shooter Destiny is now legally and biologically the only game you can play. In a new partnership with Life as We Know It, your ability to eat, breathe, defecate, and procreate are now dependent on whether or not you've purchased and are actively playing Destiny. Worried about the social and global implications of this new way of living? You shouldn't be. Instead, you should be worried about finding your next raid group and how long you can physically stop playing in order to enjoy your allotted food cube and Red Bull energy drink. I'm excited that Destiny is going to become a new biological imperative the world over, and just know that you'll enjoy being part of our global community, because now you have no other choice. See you in game, or else. 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 Else.